Hello my Funatics, it's Fufu here bringing you my week 2 battle for the GBA D-League, and this is against Madman Demo. I've said it a number of times before, but it still stands. He's got great content going on to his YouTube channel, so please check it out. He's a great guy, and I really want you to support him. He deserves your attention, so please do that for me. This is actually a really long battle, so I don't want to spend too long on the team preview. I think that going into it, we both have got solid teams, and it could go either way, and it really depended on how we played out the match. So I feel like that should be more of the focus, but I'll explain quickly what I brought and why. I've got a Scarf Infernape because he had potentially, he could bring a Scarf Mienshao, which could do a lot of damage to my team. Also, I wanted to be able to outspeed the Thunderous to get a hit off on it, even if that means Infernape gets T-waved. I was okay with that. Infernape is really just there to deal with things that I might have problems dealing with and get some chip U-turn damage. So that's why I went with that. I've got Rotom-Heat, defensive set to take on Entei a bit better. It's really the only thing that could take Banded Sacred Fires, so that's why I went with Rotom. It's also really nice for Scizor and just good for momentum with the Volt Switch, so I really like Rotom. We've got Kyurem because I saw he matched up pretty well. Dragon Claw does a number of things to his team, a number of nice things for me anyway, and also can 2-hit KO his most likely defensive wall, Slowbro, with the Fusion Bolt, which is great. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, he did bring the Scizor and the Florges, which both stop it a little bit. If it's a defensive Florges and Scizor in general, they both stop it. So I was hoping maybe I'd only see one, but we'll have to deal with that. I've also brought the Skarmory. He has the Staraptor in his roster. If he brings Staraptor, I don't have Skarmory. I basically lose a team matchup. Skarmory is also great for Scizor, and it's a good Pokemon in general, so I was happy to bring that. We've got Deoxys-Defense. This was specially defensive. I wanted to bring a Sylveon because Heal Bell would really support my team, Wish would really support my team, but Sylveon would give him a free switch into Entei, and as I've already said, I don't really have too many switch-ins on that, and also Nidoking, which is also in his roster, and I can't take that on at all, so I wanted Deoxys-Defense just because it's a more reliable wall, can take hits on the physical side as well if it has to, and can deal with the Thunderous and the Nidoking. And then finally, I've got AV Donphan. I need the spin because I've got two things weak to rocks, which are probably win conditions. They're very important to my team. And I don't want to have to defog away my own rocks because Entei is a problem, and I really want to be able to whittle that with the rocks. Looking at Demo's team very briefly, he's brought a lot of the things that I thought he would bring. The only issue is he brought Florges, and I wasn't really expecting that. He brought two Psychic types which have a lot of bulk. I wasn't necessarily thinking Florges would come too. I've got three things with Toxic on my team, so if he's got the Aromatherapy, that might be a problem. My idea was to try and whittle his team with Hazards and Toxic, and then have Kyurem try, and also Infernape, try and just mop up after everything has been bruised a bit. We'll get into the battle now, just because I say it's quite a long one and I've sped it up a bit, so we can get through it a bit faster. Now he's leading with his Mew, and I'm going to go with my Infernape Scarf. It'll outspeed everything, and I can just get chip damage on this Mew with a U-turn, see how much it does, and see what kind of a set it is. Looking at that, it's HP invested, not defense invested, so it could be specially defensive, it could be speed invested, it could even be in one of the attacks, don't really know. I'm going to go into my Deoxys, as he goes to the Psyshock, and looking at the damage, I don't think it's special attack invested. That was a crit, so yeah, I don't think it was. I'm going to go for a Toxic here. If he wants to taunt me, that's fine. I've got the Mental Herb. I just really want the Toxic on this Mew. I do get Synchro Toxic, not too upset because I really just wanted that Toxic on the Mew. I would have liked him to hit the Will-O-Wisp really, because it means Burn is better for me being able to stall things. But unfortunately I do get Toxic. So I would have liked him to hit that, but oh well. That's how these things go. Right now I think that he might want to switch out, but he doesn't. He stays in and just gets the rocks up. I was really worried this would be like a taunt Stormbreaker Mew, but he had the rocks, which is a good thing for me. Means that he probably doesn't have defog on it, and he's probably got Roost on it, which means that my rocks are potentially going to be able to stay up for a bit longer. I get the recover off him with my Deoxys. I want this to be at good health because it has to take on Thunderous potentially. And now I'm going to switch out on the Scizor and go into my Rotom. I know that rocks are up, but I will be able to take whatever he wants to go for. So I was just seeing what he wanted to do. He Megas and actually goes for the Aerial Ace, which I didn't see coming, but I think what he was trying to do early on, he wasn't necessarily predicting my switch into Infernape. He was just saying, I have the Aerial, so don't you dare switch your Infernape in on my Scizor, because I can take it out. So that was an interesting play by him. He's able to switch out into Entei now, which is good for me, because this is the thing that I kind of want to take on, the Entei. I go for a Pain Split, just wanting to get my health back, and I can get a Toxic on the Entei to whistle it a bit more. Now, he does have the Stone Edge. That doesn't look like banded damage to me, but he does have to go for another one to take me out. It's a shame that he does have the Stone Edge. It means that my Rotom is not a hard stop to it, but I have things to play around this Entei, so I can now go into my Donphan, my huge fan, and easily tank a Stone Edge. And then I should have just gone straight for the Rapid Spin here, but I go for the knockoff because I know this thing's a problem. If he stays in and I go for the Rapid Spin, I think he probably can't do it with Sacred Fire, but he might be able to. If he gets a burn, he definitely would. So I go for the knockoff. He brings in the Florges. I can get rid of the leftovers. I'm kind of glad he brought in the Florges because I am AV. He won't be able to take me out with anything. He goes for the Aromatherapy and he's just giving me free chance to go for the Rapid Spin, but he has shown the Aromatherapy, which was a bit disappointing because it just means that my Toxicking is not going to be as effective right now. So I'm going to go for an EQ on the Florges, seeing how much it does. He switches into a Slowbro, and this confirms to me he is the defensive Slowbro, which is what I would have anticipated. I go into my Deoxys-Defense, as he just goes for a Scald. Fine, fair enough, I'm especially defensive. I can easily tank that. Right now, I kind of want to go for a Toxic, just to get it poisoned and stuff. But I realise that he may well switch out to his Mew or something, so I'll go into my Kyurem, seeing what's going on. He goes into his Scizor though, trying to tank that Toxic, and so my play wasn't really great there. Doesn't put me in a good position, but I've got things to easily switch in on the Scizor, as I've said before. Go into my Skarmory because I really want my rocks at this stage. There was so much switching going on that if I could get my rocks up, it would be great, and the only possible defogger he has is the Scizor. Which obviously my Skarmory can kind of take on pretty okay. I don't get back up to full health. I'm obviously not going to stay in on an Entei anyway, so I'm going to go back out into my Rotom, and the rocks are gone, so he goes to the Sacred Fire here. That's not going to be a 2-hit KO. He is going to have to go for a Stone Edge, so I'm going to switch out again, go into my Donphan, predicting that, which is exactly what happens. That's very nice for me. And now I'm going to go for a knockoff, predicting him to go straight into the Slowbro. Now, last time I didn't see what item Slowbro had, so I was a bit concerned it might be Avian special attack invested. But here I see he has the Colbur Berry, which is going to weaken my dark type attack. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't have done that much damage with the Earthquake anyway. I really am actually more relieved to see his item there getting burned, meaning that he doesn't have any surprise factors like a Chesto Berry or something. He does reveal the Calm Mind here, which is not something I particularly wanted to see. My Kyurem has sub, but if he has the Calm Mind, it means that he's more likely going to be able to break my subs. So that's not really something I wanted to see. I can 2-hit KO it with my Kyurem though, so that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, here he shows the Signal Beam, which means that I will not be able to store this out by any means with my Deoxys. And I really should have just gone for the Toxic the first turn there, but I didn't. I recovered, and now he goes into the Scizor on the second turn with a Toxic, able to whittle me down further. This is not a good range of health for me to be at. And I'm going to go into Infernape right now, predicting the U-turn, because that is definitely what he was going to go for there, just to try and ensure either my Deoxys goes down or get some initiative. So that was fine. He's now going to go into his Mew again, and I'm just going to U-turn out on that, get some more just chip damage on the Mew. And I don't know what this Mew is invested in yet. I don't know if it's specially defensive or if it is speed invested. I can't risk it being max speed with a Will-O-Wisp. I've seen the Will-O-Wisp. So I can't go into my Kyurem because my Kyurem outspeeds base 100s. I've got quite a bit of speed investment actually. Uninvested base 100s that is. But it doesn't outspeed max speed ones, so I can't do that. I'm going to Volt Switch on the Mew here. I could have Pain Splitted, predicting the recovery, but I hadn't seen it yet, and he could be carrying the Defog. So I just went for the Volt Switch, a safer play, really. And I'm going to go for a U-turn right now. I can't. You're seeing now, I really can't touch this Mew. It's really, really annoying. but it's just keeping on surviving, and I can't do anything to it, but it's just frustrating. I'm going to go into my Skarmory right now, because I will be able to hopefully get up my rocks, and I don't really mind my Skarmory catching a burn. It's not going to hinder its walling capabilities too much, because it will still be able to take on Scizor as long as it doesn't have the Sword Dance, and it's a U-turn set, and it's got Aerial Ace. I think it's quite unlikely that it'll have Sword Dance and Roost. That would seem a bit strange to me. So I feel like my Skarmory is in okay stop to Mew now, and knowing that, it's good. I do have the Toxic on my Skarmory as well, so it will be able to one-on-one this Mew. So that's very good, and I get the Toxic off on the Mew. I don't think he saw that coming, because I've already got 2 Toxicers. So I do have Toxic on 3 of my Pokemon. Half my team have Toxic, and that it was the only way I could think of that I was going to be able to deal with this Mew, put pressure on it to switch out, and eventually be able to whittle it down to a point where I can take it out. That was the only way. Now, I am scared of what he can switch into my Skarmory. He's got both Entei and Thundurus. So I'm going to switch out right here and go into my Donphan, thinking that one of those two would be coming in, but actually he brings in his Scizor, he goes for the U-turn. That does some damage to my Donphan. Donphan does take it though. I'm not invested in defense, I'm in max attack adamant AV. So Donphan takes that pretty nicely, and I'm just going to go for an Earthquake as he brings in the Florges, which is fine with me because I do a lot of damage to that. He's able to get off another Aromatherapy, which is frustrating, but again, it allows me to spin, so I'm not too upset about that. And right now, I'm just going to switch out and go into my Rotom-Heat. I'm able to take a Moonblast if he's going to stay in and do that, which is what he does. But if you switched out into Slowbro there to take the Earthquake, I would have also been able to Volt Switch and pressure that too. So that was a reasonably good play on my part, I felt. Now I'm just going to go for an Overheat because Volt Switch isn't looking like it's going to KO, so I'm just going to go for an Overheat. He protects there, which just gives me an extra turn of lefties, and after this, my Rotom is looking pretty healthy again, which is really nice. Rotom is doing jobs, and he gets a kill, which is great. Well done, Rotom. We love you with your little handies. So now he's going into Entei, and I don't have a switch into a Sacred Fire, as I've said, so I'm going to Volt Switch here, and he goes for the Stone Edge and misses, which was kind of big at the time. It means that my Rotom-Heat survives and can be an annoying thorn in his side for longer, and I'm sure that that was pretty annoying for Demo. But seeing how much stuff is doing to his Entei, I'm pretty sure he's going to be AV max HP. So I go into my Kyurem and just go straight for Dragon Claw, getting some damage on anything. That does a nice little chunk to the Scizor. I was very happy about that. Kyurem is going to be good. I really think that once I've whittled his team, Kyurem can do a lot of work. But anyway, this is the moment he shows that he does have the defog on the Scizor, which is disappointing. I really, really want my rocks on his side of the field because they were doing so much for me and definitely gaining me a lot of chip damage, which is what I need in this instance. I go for a Volt Switch, predicting him to switch out as he goes into his Thundurus. I can go into my Poncho Pete just to take a, well, not to take a hit really, I don't have very good switch-ins on this, as he goes for a knockoff and Poncho Pete goes down. So that was the end of Poncho Pete. That was a sad end to Poncho Pete. I can go into Donphan. I don't want to mess around with threats like this, so I am going to go straight for the Ice Shard. Again, if he's going to bring in the Slowbro, my Earthquake and knockoff wouldn't be doing any damage anyway, so that's fine. And I'm going to, here is where it's getting a bit risky. I don't have too many switch-ins on the Slowbro anymore. He goes for a Calm Mind right here, and I'm just gonna pause it right here because this was a big play. This is big play. Up to this point, I felt like I had been getting quite a lot of momentum, and I was in a very good position. But right here, yeah. It goes downhill from here. I was expecting him to either switch out into his Scizor to take on my Kyurem a bit better. He's seen that I'm physical, but Kyurem does not get good coverage in terms of hitting Scizor specifically. I won't have. It's unlikely that I'd have the HP Fire because, as I say, I've already shown that I am physical. So Scizor would have been a good switch. Alternatively, I thought that if he's staying in, it's because he has something to hit me with after the Calm Mind. Now, we haven't seen his last move. We've seen Scald and Signal Beam. There is a chance, a very small chance, that Signal Beam would break my sub. But if he has the Psychic or the Psyshock, that is guaranteed to break my sub. And knowing that Donphan is not looking very healthy right now, and if he gets rocks up again, I would be taking a lot of damage on my Kyurem. I didn't really want to get the sub damage. I go straight for a Fusion Bolt here, thinking that he would not go for a Scald. Even if he does go for the Scald, it's only a 30% chance that he would burn me, but I did not think he would go for it. He does go for it, however, and gets the burn, and that is huge. That is huge, and that's basically my heavy hitter gone, and that was really big. I should have played safe. I have the sub. I could have popped one there. If I'd done that, Slowbro would definitely be dead unless he switched out, and then whatever he switched into would be dead. He had no switches, and if he had let me keep the sub up, I would possibly have got two kills there with Kyurem. I really choked there. It was very unfortunate that he did get the burn as well. If he hadn't got the burn, then I would have been in a great position still, and I would have seen that he was going for Scald, so I could sub in the second turn, kill the Slowbro, and have my sub for whatever came in next. So very unfortunate set of events that has put me on the back foot, and I'm going to struggle to get back, because as I say, I wanted to get chip damage on everything, and then my Kyurem-B the thing to hit and kill stuff, and that's not going to happen now. So I don't really see my way of getting through this. I'm going to be able to get the chip damage on things, but I just don't know how I'm going to get the job done. So this is not good. Anyway, we make some switches here, and I go into my Infernape. This is Scarf Infernape. I'm anticipating to outspeed him. He's shown the knockoff. I did not expect him to be Scarf. Mixed Scarf Thundurus really did not cross my mind. Yeah, so I was very puzzled by that, and unfortunately my Infernape goes down. Infernape wasn't necessarily a win condition at all, because the things that Infernape does, other things do too. My Rotom can take out the Scizor and things. Anyway, he brings in his Entei. Entei's going to get a kill. I can bring in my Kyurem to revenge those things, as though it's most likely quicker, because I do have the speed investment, and I think he's mainly bulky. But he has the safe switch into his Mew. Now that I'm burned, I'm not going to be doing anywhere near enough damage, and this is bad. I can 1v1 the Mew, however, because I have Stubborous. He won't be able to break my subs, and I have, yeah, I would be able to one-on-one it, so that's the thing, although I'd be whittled a bit more than him because I do have the burn. But yeah, this is how things are going. I've lost my Donphan, which is my spinner, so when he gets rocks up, they will be staying up. And no, I haven't. Have I lost my Donphan? No, I lost my Infernape. What am I talking about? Yeah, I lost my Infernape. Infernape was good for getting the momentum and getting my switches into things, but other than that, not too important. But as we've seen before, my Skarmory is a good switch-in on the Mew. The issue is he's got good switch-ins on my Skarmory. He's got some big threats that he can just bring in, which is a problem, and I don't have the switches that I had before that I could bring in on them. So he can go into his Thundurus right now. Thundurus is a big problem. I can get my rocks up, which is good, and it will pressure him again, and it means that if he goes into Scizor, I can get free switches into nice things. So that's something that's happening, but I don't have switch-ins on this Thundurus. My Skarmory can go, has to go down here. I know that he is locked into Thunderbolt now, though, because I know that he is Scarf. So I can go into my Kyurem again. Issue is, obviously, my Kyurem is burned and is not going to be doing the damage. He brings in his Scizor, and I can go for a Fusion Bolt. He has not shown if he has the Bullet Punch yet. He's got one move left. It could potentially be Roost, but I was thinking it's most likely Bullet Punch. But I'm going to stay in anyway, because if I do get some min-max, I could take it out with a Fusion Bolt, but he shows that he does have the Bullet Punch here, which is disappointing, and it means that my Kyurem goes down, and yeah, you can see already that this is almost a foregone conclusion. I bring in my little Rotom here. He goes for the Bullet Punch. That's not going to take me out. I can go for the Overheat. Rotom bagging 2 kills. And this little oven has really impressed me this match, and has shown he's definitely proved his worth. I didn't prove my own worth in my plays. I really screwed up. But my little oven has done me proud, and I'm happy about that. That's one thing I can take away from this match. So Thundurus comes in, goes with the Thunderbolt, and takes out Rotom, and that will be the game. So another very disappointing loss. very disappointing. It ended in being a 4-0, me having only killed the Scizor and the Florges with my Rotom. Rotom did very nicely. Yeah, but that... Again, my head wasn't in the game, and I really should have popped the sub with the Kyurem. I could have completely changed the flow of the battle. At the time, I felt like I was at a little bit of an advantage, but if I popped that sub, got another kill or two, Demo would have been pressured so much harder, and it could potentially have been a different result. This battle was a much better battle than last week, and it was much closer. It was just that big choke. That was a huge choke of mine. And yeah, it's kind of unexcusable, really. But yeah, well played, Demo. And yeah, it was good battle, good battle. Go check out his channel, as I said before. I hope you guys are okay watching these videos, and I could understand. I would suggest you guys look at the other teams too. Newcastle United are not doing very well at the moment, and we really need to find our GBA legs. We need to get in the zone. So hopefully next week will be the time that happens, and I'll try my hardest. I really want to get this going, but it's not going my way at the moment. Anyways, all that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Bye!